Hey guys, it's Angelo Bash. I hope you guys are having a magnificent weekend. We're gonna get to the reason why I'm here, why it's been a while. We're gonna get back to my roots and go to straight to movie reviews. And what better way to go back into time than a review about the new movie One Love, Bob Marley. Now, this film um, it hits home for me because the way that Bob Marley was, the way that his spirituality, his way of thinking and a way of was very modernized before coming to 2024. And the fact that we're on this wave of trying to make biological films about a very influential people or places or times, that affected our society as a human, as a human being. All right, let's get to the thing. So, Bob Marley was a magnificent film at the heart of its core. Um, I watched it several times, and I'm gonna rewatch it again because you're not gonna capture every single thing that the intent of the director wanted to do. There's so much that we can see without actually seeing it multiple times. I mean, it did have a wonderful cast. That's Lynch, Kingston Ben Air, you know, Anthony Welsh. I don't know if anyone else knows James Norton or Michael Ganeshavino. Vinny, sorry if I butcher your name. I am horrible at pronouncing name, but pretty much it. One love, and the fact that Bob Marley, you know, had a small impact on he had a small life because he was only when he passed away. So Bob Marley passed away in 1981 at the age of 36 due to cancer on his foot. But he actually started way before that, in Jamaica. I knew he was Jamaican, but like what the movie does, it has a unique way of giving you an insight into Bob Marley's world or how Bob Marley was and what kind of person he behind the mask. The person behind the voice, because his voice, is still being heard through time and will continue to heard through time by the way that he represents himself or how he portrays himself. Bob Marley was a very key component in a lot of things. The one thing that I was not aware of at the time when I first heard Bob Marley when I was growing up is that I didn't realize when he was starting, like, getting his career up and running, um, it was during a time period where political conflicts was on unrest in Jamaica was affecting Jamaica's daily life all the time because of the two political parties at the time that were trying to rise to power. And so, like, the thing is that Bob Marley always, so he performed, like, the movie starts out him performing, at this local concert called Smile Jamaica, where he's basically promoting peace amongst, amongst the times, amongst the warring fractions. And the thing is that you get to see, like, a lot of people were like, you shouldn't be doing this concert during this political risk. And that's the beauty of entertainers and, people that have influence, um, is that during that time period that we're watching is like when Bob Marley is about to hit it platinum. Like his fame rose as, because the film starts like in around 1970 something. But like his fame, that's when we actually watch him as he rises internationally as a not a pawn. Oh my god, as a star, you know. And the thing is that that concert also sets the tone for what Bob Marley is trying to accomplish in his repertoire, you know. Because the thing is that he always promoted peace and unity, but like we actually see like the core of what he was trying to do. And honestly, we get to capture some of his livelihood as he's creating these magnificent songs that we know. One Love, Redemption Song, Three Little Birds. A lot of these songs and lyrics come in the film, and they represent different things. But the one thing I wasn't sure about and I didn't know was the political conflict that he was dealing with. And so, like, during 1976, during his concert, after his concert, well, people were warning him not to do it because, like I said, which what happens with political parties, and that's why I feel like everyone needs to watch this film because I feel like some of these messages of what's going on is happening now in the United States. Because the thing is that his stance on life doesn't involve. His message is about for everyone to enjoy music, to enjoy life, to embrace, in your individuality. You know, it has nothing to do with ties to government, to ideal, like anything else that isn't meant to his message. And so, like, there was an in the movie, it talks about him trying to, like, these news reporters are like, "Are you gonna be performing? It's dangerous because he all these times he's like, nah, man, it's Jamaica, man. We're going to have fun and we're going to love it." And that mentality, I love it. And one reporter said that, like, most, because the thing is, he didn't take either. He didn't choose a side in the political unrest that was happening between the two parties in Jamaica that was causing the turmoil. He didn't believe on either one because he says, and then he says that that has nothing to do with me. I'm here just to be me and to provide music for people that want to listen to it. A lifestyle. And one of the reporters actually told him, which actually um, uh, foreshadows an event that's going to happen, which is funny. And it's funny when you see these techniques in film, where, like, he talks about it, like, most people are going to think that you've chosen a side, and he's like, no, I didn't choose this side. I choose myself, and I choose my music, and I choose to bring joy and happiness to people. And so some people didn't like that. So some of his while he was at his home, they attacked him, and they were Bob Marley was shot along with his wife and a few other people, and that really shook his world. That really shook his world because he knew about the stuff that was going on and the struggles that was going on, but he didn't understand, like, at that precise moment was really the that really shook his core at his own brethren. And it goes back to, like, Shakespeare's, or Et tu, Brute, like, your own countrymen attack you, and that shattered his spirit a lot. That his own countrymen would try to kill him and his wife, you know, when he was performing on stage, but after that whole incident, because they wanted to keep the concert going, he showed his wounds, his booty wounds. And he told his daughter, he told his wife, take his children to Delaware with his mom, and then they will stay in London just to be safe because they knew that they cannot stay in Jamaica. Even though, like, his message and his music was reaching people, it wasn't reaching people enough for the violence to cease. And and that's the thing too. Like, Bob Marley was living in England trying to get inspiration for what became his most successful album, and still to this very day, successful album. The Bob Marley, he's one of the few celebrities in the world that is still making money to this very day. And he brings about, I think, about $16 million yearly, because that's how inspirational he was. The fact that he wanted to use this movement called reggae, because reggae was very new in the 70s. So, like, he was already starting a movement around the world. And the fact that you know he was trying to figure out and trying to get inspiration for his Exodus album. And that album not only took the world by storm, but it also projected what the true essence of what Bob Marley stood for and what he wanted for himself. And he later, of course, film later on talks about him getting diagnosed with a very rare skin condition, a very rare skin cancer that he got. And he didn't want to do anything about it. He didn't want to compliment because he wanted to make sure that people were aware that he wanted to keep on promoting peace, kept on, one love, band together, understand that we are one people. We come from the same, like, there's no difference. It's all about peace, love, and unity. And, that message, triples, later on, when he tries to get, once he starts getting around Europe and they get more invested, Jamaica realizes something. And, he was a political even though he will tell you to this very day that he was not an advocate, but he became a political advocate for Jamaica. He was the voice of Jamaica. And, to this very day, because I went to Jamaica a long time ago and a couple times, and like, he is a god over there. And it's not because they worship him, it's because they dearly admired the man that he was and his principles and what he stood for. And I think that if anyone has a chance, take a chance to watch this film. It is a wonderfully mastered film, and like, there's a lot of other elements in there that I don't want to talk because I don't want to ruin everything. But there was a lot of things that I wasn't expecting to see in the film, and I didn't understand what he was going through. And that's the beauty of making these films, is that we get to see the person behind the fame, behind the name and everything. And most of these celebrities that are well known or become icons, they went through a lot of struggles. They went through a lot of turmoil. And that's what Bob Marley was. He was always a fighter. He was always struggling. He was always struggling. But the one thing that kept him going was that he knew exactly what he wanted to do. He may have forgotten what he was or had come to terms with a lot of things that he didn't come to terms with. But the one thing that he kept on stating to people is that there's no vengeance. You shouldn't seek vengeance. We should promote love and peace and be together as a people. And the funny thing was, is I want to say this because I want to read it. The person that shot him, the person that shot him later on, when before he was going to perform his other second concert in Jamaica, because he started his career in Jamaica, but he wasn't well known until he got to the mid 70s. But the gunman came back begging for forgiveness to Bob Marley, which Bob Marley states, "Keep no vengeance. You shouldn't be seeking redemption through me. You should be seeking redemption through yourself." That man was awesome. I give this film maybe 4 stars because not only did Hollywood keep the core of what who the person was, and that's the thing about these biological films. Sometimes they go a little bit above and beyond and try to get and spice the film up just to fit the narrative of what the director or what they're trying to do. But the family was fully supporting of this film. I have to say that family was fully supportive of this film, and it actually really does capture Bob Marley at the height of his career. And honestly, I feel like sometimes we need to choose a moment and then you know go back to foreshadow every event that leads to the moment. You know, and I think this film, is is a message. It's still a message, and I would watch it again and again because I love the music. I love the spirit of what Bob Marley was trying to accomplish in the short amount of time that that he became, because you understand, like, he only rose to fame. He's been performing since probably when he was younger, because they did mention that back, but he didn't rose to fame, worldwide success or international fame, until like when he was in his 30s. And that just shows you right there that if you keep on following your dreams and keep on at it, be perseverant and persevere through that thing, you can make anything come true. Don't forget about yourself. Don't forget about your dreams. Strive for the hardest, strive for it. You are the only person that will prevent yourself from achieving it. So anticipate what you need to do to get to those that point. And it doesn't happen overnight, because that's the thing about a lot of these icons. They didn't become famous overnight. They worked at it to the bone until they got their start, and then they kept on going. They kept that momentum going. So that's what we have to do for ourselves. If you want to see this film, I recommend you have Paramount Plus. They're actually showing it. It's also being released in theaters too. So look at your local theaters to see if you can watch it. But like I said, I love streaming services, and I'm ever since COVID and they showed films in the streaming services. I don't want to go to theaters anymore, because I can actually, in the comfort of my own home, and have my own food, not spend so much money. But only certain films I'll go see in theaters. But thank you guys so much. This is Angelo Bash giving my review for Bob Marley, One Love. It's a fantastic film. Watch it. You will fall in love with it. And there you go.